Assalamu Alaikum. In this video, we will examine a series of historical events and political developments that many commentators connect to the conflicts unfolding in the Middle East today. We have attempted to review widely discussed historical records and documented sources before presenting this topic. The purpose of this video is to outline the sequence of events and ideas that are frequently mentioned when people analyze the region's complicated history. At the present time, many observers believe that three major fronts are shaping global tensions. On one side, Iran is engaged in confrontation with powerful forces. At the same time, within Pakistan, certain liberal voices argue that the conflict should be understood purely as geopolitics or as a struggle over resources, while rejecting the idea that faith plays any role in it. Across social media, heated debates have emerged. Discussions about Shia and Sunni divisions appear everywhere. Some commentators highlight Iran's past political conflicts with Sunni states, while others focus on internal turmoil inside Iran. Many other arguments circulate as well. In some of our previous videos, we have discussed topics related to geopolitics, prophetic discussions, and certain social issues. Since the beginning of this conflict, we have expressed the view that it is connected to faith. Regardless of sectarian differences, we have spoken in support of Iran in this situation and have consistently emphasized the importance of unity. If someone still doubts that this conflict has a religious dimension, it is worth examining what is happening within the opposing camp. Even some Republican politicians have openly described the conflict as a war connected to faith and have used language referring to crusades. Various statements have been highlighted in this context. Some people point to the tattoos of U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, which reportedly contain the word kafir. Others refer to passages written in his book or speeches delivered by Ted Cruz. Another example often discussed is the Abrahamic prayer that took place in the Oval Office during Donald Trump's presidency. Supporters of this argument say that the concept of interfaith unity among the Abrahamic religions is not found within Islamic teachings. Islam calls for peace and safety, but the idea of an Abrahamic prayer is not described as a religious practice in Islam. Likewise, the Abraham Accords are not rooted in Islamic doctrine. When attention turns toward Europe, some commentators highlight certain fashion events where imagery associated with satanic themes has appeared in artistic presentations. During these shows, models sometimes display outfits accompanied by devil-like symbolism. Observers have also pointed out visuals where hands appear stained with blood, interpreting such imagery within the wider context of global conflict. Another discussion appears within certain religious interpretations in Judaism. Some rabbis have spoken about the concept of Greater Israel. Another discussion appears in certain interpretations related to Judaism. Some commentators refer to an idea often described as Greater Israel, which is discussed in political and historical debates. In various public discussions and speeches, maps and references have been presented that some analysts interpret as indicating broader regional ambitions. These interpretations remain widely debated, with different perspectives across scholars, analysts, and commentators. Because of this, the concept commonly referred to as Greater Israel continues to be a subject of ongoing discussion. In these debates, references are often made to religious texts such as Genesis, Zechariah, and scholarly interpretations found in the Talmud. Genesis chapter 15 verse 18 is often cited. According to that verse, a promise was made to Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam that land stretching from the Nile to the Euphrates would belong to his descendants. If such a political map were ever established, it would include Palestine, the West Bank, Gaza, all of Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Kuwait, southern regions of Turkey, northern areas of Saudi Arabia, and the Sinai Peninsula of Egypt. To understand the background of these discussions, it is necessary to look back into history. The story begins in the year 1299, when a new empire emerged. This empire eventually ruled across 3 continents and lasted for roughly 600 years. Modern countries that once fell within its territory include Turkey, Egypt, Iraq, Syria, Palestine, Jordan, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, Libya, Algeria, Tunisia, Greece, Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary, and many others. This empire represented the last major political authority of the Muslim world and was known as the Ottoman Caliphate. For Muslims, the Caliphate symbolized unity. Resources were shared among different regions, and the structure aimed to strengthen the Muslim world collectively. After 6 centuries, a major development occurred in 1897 in Switzerland. Theodor Herzl organized the First World Zionist Congress. During this meeting, he argued that Jewish communities had been scattered across the world for nearly 2,000 years since the Roman expulsions. According to Herzl, true security for Jews would come only when they returned to their homeland in Palestine. Following this Congress, Herzl contacted the Ottoman ruler, Sultan Abdul Hamid II. He proposed that Jewish financiers could repay the debts of the Ottoman Empire if Palestine were granted to them. Sultan Abdul Hamid II rejected the proposal. He reportedly stated that even a single foot of land would not be surrendered. He declared that Muslims had shed blood to obtain that land, and would shed blood again if necessary to reclaim it. After this refusal, Zionist leaders concluded that their objectives could not move forward while the Ottoman Caliphate remained intact. In 1908, the Young Turk movement began, challenging the Ottoman leadership. Some historians link elements of this movement to groups influenced by figures such as Jacob Frank and Sabbatai Zevi. During the era of Sabbatai Zevi, some individuals publicly accepted Islam while secretly maintaining Jewish mystical traditions connected to Kabbalah. These individuals were sometimes referred to as the Donmeh. In 1909, Sultan Abdul Hamid was removed from power. Less than a decade later, in 1918, the First World War ended, and the Ottoman Empire collapsed. A political system that had lasted 6 centuries disappeared within a short time. In 1916, while the war was still ongoing, a secret meeting took place in London between British diplomat Sir Mark Sykes and French diplomat François-Georges Picot. They spread a map of the Middle East on a table and began drawing lines dividing territories between their countries. This agreement became known as the Sykes-Picot Agreement. No Muslim population was consulted in these decisions. Certain areas were placed under international administration, with consultation involving Russia, Allied powers, and Sharif of Mecca. In 1917, another important document appeared. The British government issued the Balfour Declaration in a letter addressed to Walter Rothschild, a banker and prominent supporter of the Zionist movement. The letter expressed support for establishing a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. After World War I, the territories of the Ottoman Empire were divided into smaller states. Many analysts argue that these borders were drawn in ways that ensured long-term instability. Historian David Fromkin discussed this issue in his book, A Peace to End All Peace, published in 1989. He argued that the borders were designed in ways that guaranteed continuous conflict in the region. Similar examples exist elsewhere. When British authorities drew the Radcliffe Line dividing India and Pakistan, disputed territories such as Kashmir and the Rann of Kutch remained unresolved. Some Muslim thinkers emphasized the importance of unity across the Muslim world. Moving forward to 1982, an Israeli journalist published an article outlining what he described as a strategic plan for Israel's long-term survival. According to this idea, Israel could remain secure only if surrounding Muslim states were fragmented into smaller sectarian entities. One example mentioned was Iraq, which could be divided into Sunni, Shia, and Kurdish regions. In 2003, the United States invaded Iraq, and the country later experienced deep sectarian divisions. The same discussion predicted fragmentation in Syria into multiple regions, such as Alawite, Druze, Aleppo-based, and Damascus-based territories. In recent years, Syria has experienced severe internal division. Lebanon was also mentioned as a region where outside intervention could reshape political balance. Another historical reference often discussed is a letter written in 1937 by David Ben-Gurion to his son Amos. In that letter, he wrote about the possibility that Arabs might eventually be removed from certain territories. Those who support this interpretation argue that these developments are part of a broader sequence linked to long-term geopolitical planning. In their view, present-day events cannot be fully understood without considering these historical developments. If you found this video informative, consider supporting the channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Your support helps us continue creating research-based content. And Allah knows best. May Allah help the Muslim Ummah, protect us from division and fitna, and guide us toward unity, justice, and peace. This is not a time for sectarian divisions between Shia and Sunni. Rather, it is a time for Muslims to stand together and remain united in the face of these challenges.